And what? Oh, I missed that question. Still hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. You hear me okay? So I am having technical difficulties.
to the broadcast. And Liam Gross is helping us out right off the bat, saying, do I see Ryan Beavis racing there? Most likely do. I do see him out there once in a while, so good to see Liam hanging out there saying, go UK. So we keep an eye out for, there's probably a lot of UK flags actually, usually in the Europe race actually, and very competitive at that. We do see Augustine though here with Innovation, the Director Sportif, the team leader over at Innovation, Kyle Augustine, originally from New Zealand, hanging out in the UK, I believe, today. That's where he's racing from. But you can see that Kiwi flag there on the right-hand side of the course. This is a massive multiplayer online training platform, and riders from all over the world right now are competing against each other in the Watopia world right now. We do see Tim Cartwright there, probably one of the favorites. I didn't see that he was signed up until just now. And so am I actually seeing, I do see Roe and King here with our Beavis here. Actually, so good. That's interesting riding for Roe and King. Maybe some information that I am not privy to here. If I could get a little bit of help from the chat. As our Beavis is hammering away, it looks like with Luke. Is that it's an interesting tag there. Is that a new team in game right now? So Steve Weidman now here for Team Experimental, right along with Groot, and it looks like Heed Grimshaw now, Metcalf and Adam Webb now up toward the front as well. Maybe be watching out for him. The flatter courses, I believe, are going to be in favor for Webb. We'll see if he can pull off another W today. It might have been a little while since he's grabbed a podium, though, as of recently. We'll have to see if he can come back and maybe best the likes of Cartwright. But Cartwright on a flatter course, being a top time trialist out of the UK, is going to be one to watch out for, I believe. Up toward the front, if he does get away, it will be very difficult to deal with that rider. I'm trying to see if I can find him up toward the front of this race right now. And now we do see the B riders, though, starting to populate the list up ahead, and that's because they're actually at a spot on the course that does double back a little bit. And so we do have the B riders out on course. Let's go ahead and see how that is shaping up. You can watch the live results over
I thought it was supposed to be hilly reverse.
ZwiftPower.com. ZwiftPower.com will have live results.
Flat reverse.
I'm going to go ahead and show you real quickly how you can go about doing that so that you can also join in the broadcast, but at the same time, make sure that you are able to follow up on all the statistics that are being pushed over to ZwiftPower.com. This is the ZwiftPower.com website. I go ahead and go down to the KISS Europe race right here. There's a live tab in the upper right-hand corner. This is where the results will be. The race information can be found here, all of the rules, etc. So, and then you go ahead and click on live, and you can actually see populated here who is in the A category, B category, etc., and all their past results if you click on their name, as well as what their current 20-minute watt per kilogram has been throughout the race. So we'll be using that. It is Tim Cartwright up toward the front of the race right now as they just entered.
So when should we attack is the question.
Boulevard. So in the B category, though, we do have, I think, the largest, maybe the B and the C category, but one of the largest.
What do you reckon? The last climb out of the S's?
Since last winter, and already some breaks are most definitely starting.
And if you've got arrows, you use them on the downhill to get a gap. Then you've got a chance of picking up the new power up at the banner.
Yeah, I got an arrow.
They will attack up the climb. Then one of us pop the arrow. If you pop the arrow, and when yours runs out, I'll use mine.
No, I'll pop mine. I'm a big heavy dude, so we'll just use...
Use yours first, and then I'll use mine after.
Can you private message Cartwright and let him know our plan?
To be honest, he could bridge over to us quite easily if he needs to. Oh, really? I think he'll bridge over to us quite easily if he needs to. I can't type on my phone when I'm riding.
Yeah, I can't. My Wi-Fi is all weird, so I can't do this with Mobile Link.
race this early. So Colonel Christian there, right along with looks like H. Wood Ibarona, I believe that is there as well. Absalom's in there. It looks like as well as Aristigi coming from Spain. A whole lot of riders.
Okay, I'm gonna do like a little attack and see if anyone kind of goes with me. Not planning on doing anything awesome.
Ocean Boulevard climb
Roger that.
of Ocean Boulevard, probably the next place that we will most likely
So
see.
little attack by me. Don't follow.
Going through the Essies, that series of punches climbs they'll hit every time through the lap did break things up a little bit, but as I look over at zippower.com, they are in this B category about 3.4 kilometers in, and there is at least 100 riders, 150, 175, 100, oh my goodness. So it goes all the way out to 198. Let's see here, subtract 57, and we're looking at over 120 riders, I believe it is, in the B category right now. So a huge race right now. A lot of riders that are showing up, I believe, are looking to complete their Zwift Academy requirements here by jumping into this race. But back in the A race, we were talking about how tactical it'll be. We do see the Melty Man, popular rider as of recently from KRT, showing up to a lot of races in the KISS Racing team here. Hammering away 4.1 watts per kilogram. He's got 5 seconds off the front, and with that group chasing him down, it's going to be a difficult day to get away here, but Team HDR here with Diasan now making his way to the front, and it looks like Innovation also with C. Orgel here trying to chase that down, not giving away too much wiggle room. And 2.3, 4.3 watts per kilogram, I'm not sure that Melty Man's going to be getting away. It's a valiant effort, but I'm not sure that it's going to pay off too much. Jabber here coming out of France now, 3.6 at the front. All they got to do is keep that speed at a reasonable level at the front, and he will not go anywhere. He'll have to hold a solid 6 to 7 watts per kilogram to try and make anything of this attack. It's not going anywhere just yet, and I'm not even any hurt into the legs for the rest of the peloton. They just kind of come in at a tempo level and bring them right back into the fold, so nobody's going anywhere just yet. But at the front here, we are seeing some riders starting to line up here. Pelosi now we see an arrow power up coming from a rider into the Adam Webb there. That's Adam actually Webb with Anvik now following very closely, coming out of Norway. That is an arrow power up. Actually, power ups are allowed in the KISS races. For those of you who might not be unfamiliar, these are power-ups that you gain every time that you go through a start-finish banner, a sprint banner, or a KOM banner. And so he had one on reserve here, Anvik, in order to try and get away from the pack. Cartwright trying to follow it up. Gren there as well. All the favorites now making their way to the front now. Dauphin Williams, Jay Scott's there as well. Johan Gren, one of the favorites to win out there today, right along with another PTZ rider, Jay Scott there actually. Is that a recent announcement maybe from PTZ? Jay Scott was riding around in that elite kit for quite a while. So I think Jay Scott's joining up with the PTZ boys now at this point, working along with Gren, trying to chase down Anvik. But Anvik immediately going away. 183 beats per minute right now out in Norway, absolutely demolishing this attack right now. But 183, how long can you hold on to 6 watts per kilogram to try and gain an advantage over the group right now? Solo attacks out the front are very difficult to hold on to, especially on a flat course like this, just like in real life. Now looking Barbosa here chasing that down. BRT's right along with M. Wall, Jay Lacoste.
I'm struggling there.
Who is falling off though is the question. We are seeing Hargreaves in there.
Yep, hanging in there.
Showing up, trying to absolutely decorate the field, as he would say here. And it looks like
we lost Hedgehog.
And NSS LRT. Good to see Mr. Hargreaves, actually the man behind the men's side of the Zwift Academy, joining up with the Zwift Academy boys. So we'll go ahead and give him a ride on 171 beats per minute. And we'll see if he can help to bring back Anvik and the likes of the rest at the front here. He has made the front group, actually, and it looks like 6 seconds, though, is the difference. Metcalf is hanging in there, and they're all being very tactical at this point. If anybody thought that this was going to stick, they would be really smart to attack off the front at the same kind of effort that Anvik put down to try and get an immediate gap. Otherwise, the likes of Metcalf here are just going to slowly bring the entire group right back into the fold with them. So Anvik will be caught, and then everybody will Grupo Compacto up again. It's going to be Grupo Compacto again at that point, and nobody will be working too hard. Burton, though, maybe not wanting to see that happen now from the TFC team here in that yellow kit that they like to use. Looking over his shoulder here, you can see 7.4 watts per kilogram. Fleetwood's there as well, 5.6, and you do see Anvik now, 5.5, slowing it down a little bit. Burton there, not going much of anywhere, though, as it looks like Szerzynski out of Poland, as well as the rest of the group, are able to just pull it right back into the fold, actually. So good to see a couple attacks here early on, but nothing going anywhere just yet. So we are seeing kind of a setup photo here coming from Mr. Jonathan Noblet. Good to see Johnny throwing out some tweets at us over at Z Community Live, giving us an example of how to make this happen. And kind of a setup photo, getting ready to...
You still want to attack?
Kiss Road Race, Aussie
I think Tim's just moving up to the front.
Community Live broadcast. A lot of work, hashtag, a lot of work. Johnny Noblet.
He's gone.
Good to see that.
Okay, we attack over the top, yeah? Same plan. Try and bridge up to him.
Okay.
And so we're looking forward to that broadcast next week. I believe it is Saturday, so make sure to tune in for that. And now we are seeing here, it looks like coaching...
I won't make it to the end, so I'll probably sacrifice myself.
I was assuming that...
Don't do any waiting for me.
No, don't go for it. We're catching. Group's catching on. Don't go.
Okay.
I know they have been using the platform for sure. And it looks like maybe forming a team.
Oh crap! Adam's going.
And is there a price for 300 Zwift?
That's good. Tim will kill him.
Just hang tight. Everyone's chasing.
I'm not exactly sure what the price, what we're talking about. What are we getting at there, Tom? Let me know.
I'm really struggling. I'm not going to make the finish.
Is there a price?
I've got to use my air at some point.
Races. I'm not sure what we're getting at, but let me know a little bit more about the question there, and I'll try and answer it to the best of my ability. Brother Alfonso's letting us know that we are streaming at Z Community Live, so I believe Brother Alfonso is also streaming over on Mixer and maybe Twitch.
If they get 10 seconds on the downhill part, I'm going to punch it.
Okay. Give me 3 seconds warning.
Going through the Essies, it is going
Will
to
do.
Webb and Cartwright. A couple of our favorites for sure to be watching out for today. And leaving it up against the pack dynamics here. Anvik is going as well, again, out of Norway here, up in the 9 watts per kilogram, but it's at a very fast point out on course. He kicks it with that drafting power-up. He's using that drafting power-up through the group, actually, to try and gain a little advantage, but he didn't really accomplish much there except for bring the pack right on with him. You want to use moments out on course which the pack is not going to just grab onto your draft and go right along with you. So what ended up happening there is he went ahead of the group a little bit, but not quite enough to gain enough room in order to not just break his speed right back into the group. So now we are seeing Fleetwood here with the tall socks and the Zwift hat. Always looking fashionable out on course here, as you can see here, coming from Fleetwood. 167 minutes per minute currently. Able to make this front group right now, it looks like, out on the flat course. Hargreaves still sitting in there. Jay Lecoq there as well. Jay Scott, it looks like. And then we do have Hassan, and there will be riding for Rowan Kig. Beavis is there as well as Barbosa from PTZ team coming out of Portugal. Heat is there from Sweden. Super international field right now. So cool to see. So many country flags on the right-hand side of the course. I'm seeing France, USA, UK. Who are you rooting for out there? What country or what trade team out on?
Tim's going again.
ZHQ is out there represented as well. And prize not nice. Got it. So
Everyone's chasing now.
For 300 Zwift races, Nathan. So who's got 300 Zwift races out there today? Is Tom?
Should we just go for the glory of it?
I wonder if that's what he's alluding to there, or perhaps somebody else out on course.
No, let's wait a bit.
Somebody currently leading, according to ZwiftPower.com, most races out on Zwift. I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of the riders out here currently today. It may be Tom himself, actually, as he has been in a lot of races out on Zwift. So
Yeah, Tim's back in the pack.
up toward the front now. Maybe a little bit of attack coming from...
How about the downhill into the tunnel?
leading things out, making sure he's not being dropped off. Hinton there from Innovation also making his
No, let's hold on.
as we can see.
Let's wait until Tim does something. We'll chase him.
Roger that.
Points of interests out on course. We are seeing them starting to have a few attacks through the Essies right now. Definitely one of the points of interest out on course where people can make something happen, as there aren't a whole lot of them on the flatter course. A lot more tactics involved for sure. We are seeing Colonel Crisps from the WBR team, actually, the World Bicycle Relief Team. You can always recognize them with that red, white, and light blue kit, actually. There's also seeing PJ from the WBR. We're seeing Davies, though, also from the Innovation team. You can recognize them in that alien wear kit that they have adopted since Team Experimental went ahead and were able to get their own in-game, actually. Bijzer there from Team Experimental, though, is up to the front from the Netherlands there. See if we can grab a shot here from the WBR boys. There we are, 5.2 watts per kilogram. A little bit of climb out of the SCs. This last little kick is usually the place where people are caught off guard. Not going much of anywhere just yet unless somebody can sneak off the front a lot of times, just like in real life. There is actually an arrow power-up being thrown down by Brierley here now out of the UK. Or Brearley, excuse me if the pronunciation was incorrect there. With that arrow power-up, may be causing a little bit of mayhem actually in this pack right now, but there were quite a few thrown down on the back end of that climb. And up toward the front though, we do see it is going to be the PTZ rider, S Light, 182 beats per minute right now with Heimfarth, and then it looks like Vigo and Absalon. Nothing just yet able to get off the front. We are seeing a little bit of mayhem at the back end of this group, though. Maybe a few unable to hang on. A lot of drafting powers being thrown down. I think those were being used right before the A lot of times you'll use one to try and get a double power-up. Maybe use back-to-back, or at least grab one that you're looking for. The arrow power being the strongest one, reducing the drag on the avatars is usually the one, especially on this course. Without a whole lot of climbing, the feather power-up for only 15 seconds is not going to do a whole lot of advantage, but that arrow power-up on a flat course like this for 30 seconds, most definitely going to be the one that these riders are going to be looking for to try and gain an advantage over the rest of the group. We got a little bit of cheering going from Team TFC here. Good to see Team TFC tuning in to the broadcast. They are out there in that yellow kit saying, our man, Matthew Burton, is racing in the KISS road race. Can he finally get his breakthrough win? Check if he can.
I think Cartwright went again.
Team TFC for the
Yeah, someone's off the front.
good to see you tuning in. We will be watching Matthew, looking for him to grab that win or podium. I do see him actually entering in the A race into Ocean Boulevard right now. Actually, it does look like there was a little bit of split actually, or at least a few riders right now off the back a little bit, trying to find their place in this group. Actually, 145 back to Bentley. The Hedgehog did get dropped off as well. Actually, Envik up at the front here, right along with, it looks like the Melty Man actually attacking early on. Is that right? No, it's Cartwright. Excuse me. Cartwright from KRT. Favorite to win. Winner of the London World Cup, actually, with the CVR World Cup, actually. Off the front, this boy is absolutely...
Keep an attack here, I might get dropped.
Per kilogram. It's got a solid 3 seconds, but at the front we do have Boweski here now.
All right.
Able to put
You
out
stay in there.
but pulling the entire group right.
Yeah, I might have to burn my air to stay in there.
Cartwright seeing that it's not going to
Do my best.
fades immediately into a 4.8. Now up into 5.3, 5.5. He's kind of measuring, it looks like, whether or not this is going to go anywhere. But I'm not sure it's worth it at this point. At 4.4 watts per kilogram at the front, they don't have to put out too much of an effort. A lot of these riders will have 4.0 to 5.0 FTPs, so they can do that for a solid hour straight. And at 2.7 at the front and pulling them still back in. doesn't look like it's going to be going anywhere just yet. It was quite an effort, but not anywhere just yet. We are seeing Burley Alfonso is saying Team PTZ Stuart Lynn letting us know that actually Mr. Stuart Lynn has 345 races out of Canada there for Team PTZ. 345 races out on Zwift. Very cool to see. Very dedicated to the racing out on Zwift here. Cartwright now with Szerzynski pulling him right on back in, though it looks like. Not going much of anywhere yet, but setting up, it looks like, at the front of the race here for the climb into, the climb out of Ocean Boulevard. As you do see, they are above here. This is where they do climb out of the underground tunnel here and into the lap point. This is the finish of their second lap out here today. 8.2 watts per kilogram, all the way off the front, actually. Already off the front, excuse me. And we are seeing Jay Scott from PTZ right along with Williams. This might have been the plan, actually, to force them to close it down.
Boom, you got it.
Here comes Bring It All, actually bringing it from the Vikings team. Also going up the front, 187 beats per minute. We are seeing then, it looks like Johan Gren, very cagey rider, very smart rider, actually. Waits for the right moment to go all the time here. And it looks like Webb, though, 3.2 is hanging in.
Still sliding backwards.
Has that sprint jersey, it looks like, with a solid effort at 11:24 through the sprint banner. These are actually on the left-hand side of the course here. You can actually grab these jerseys out on course. KOM, fastest lap, as well as the sprint. The only one that we're able to grab out there on the Watomi
Seriously, I think I've got
during this event,
one 30-second effort, and then I'll be out. I'm not strong enough to break away.
I believe he might also have the fastest in the
Okay.
game right now, signified right there.
I can launch you if you want.
Name. You can hold on to those jerseys for 1 hour straight after accomplishing that achievement in game. There will not be any data for the KOM. As
I wish I knew what was in Tim's head right now.
Or the forward KOM. We can see there.
Second off the back.
KOM, that is the. So every lap you will see this gigantic mountain.
Might be building speed for an attack. I don't know.
The Watomi Mountain. You can climb that and try and get the Epic KOM jersey, as well as the Volcano and the Volcano KOMs. This is for the Volcano lap and then the Volcano KOM for those jerseys if you're ever out there and want to try and see how you're doing against those who are also riding live. We are seeing some cheering there. Go PJ, Riley, Hurt Locker, Fraser, Nathan, the Colonel, and Rich Noble, all WBRB racers. All right, Chris Radley, we will definitely keep an eye out for all of the WBR racers in the B race today. It sounds like it's going to be a tactical race, actually, in the B race between them with 2 laps to go. Let's see who's still hanging in to the mix there at the front end of the B race, actually, as he does give us a little nudge to go back on over to that front group. Huge front group here. We are seeing, it looks like, the likes of quite a few Race WBR. Noble is in there, actually, from Race WBR right now. We are also seeing, it looks like, Hurt Locker Hill is in there as well. I absolutely love the name there. And killing it right now, it looks like, at the front of the group. We caught a few of the A's that were dropped off. Looks like Nathan's in there as well from the WBR.
You guys got away.
Boys at the front end of the B race, as Mr. Chris Ladley was letting us know. Steve Fung is saying that, though, Innovation has got this as well. We'll see if we can see. Quite a few Innovation boys have shown up as well. I have seen Orgel in there in the A race, but I do believe we do have the likes of, it is going to be Wilkes there from Innovation up toward the front in that Alienware kit. Mason is there as well in that INC that you do see next to the name from the Innovation boys. So
Sorry, my wife called me. Someone's off the front.
Of this B race, it might come down to a pack. Actually, I would think.
You're on attack now.
Going to be Heimfarth here up at the front of the race, coming out of Germany, actually.
Yeah, up and over.
I'll do my best, but I might just fade.
Jersey right now that he is riding in, and looking over his shoulder, though. Now kicking a little bit at the front is going to be Weidman, actually being caught by these guys. in this B category. Looks like he was dropped off. Christian Weidman not maybe having the best day out on the flat course today. Usually able to make it in amongst the lead group here, but now looking here, it is going to be light here, making it up the...
Don't take the front until the top.
Only climbs out on course, 3% gradient, as you can see. Heimfarth right along with Aristide, and then it will be PJ from the WBR team also able to make it as well. So looking over at the broadcast at Mixer, we are getting a lot of comments here. Ian Anderson, good to see you hanging out at the broadcast. He did race this morning. Check out Ian Anderson's
Let me use mine.
races, actually. He does do a racer focus on Tuesdays and Thursdays usually for us, so you can tune in for those broadcasts every Tuesday and Thursday morning very consistently, actually, and had a tough race this morning. It looked like there were some solid riders showing up, 5.0 plus watts per kilogram for the A race this morning, so good to see you.
You've lost me.
Podcast, though. A lot of chatter actually going on over
Bye, night.
the Mixer channel, actually. Good to see you guys tuning in, as well as over at the Twitch channel. Good to see Szymanski hanging out over there, as well as Lynn over there as well. Nishido is over there as well. Something to do with Roe King Cycling Coaching. Assume Nishido says, yeah, just check their website. And Ryan Beavis is one of their coaches. Got it, Nishido. Thank you so much for the information. So Ryan Beavis not only riding for Rowan King, but actually working with him as one of their coaches, actually, and that's why the Rowan King is actually in the name over there at during for the A race. Speaking of the A race, they are heading through the underwater tunnel, or not the underwater tunnel, but the little underpass here after the sprint banner. Here is Ryan Beavers up toward the front right now. Looks like Ryan Ford, Rowan King there, Johan Graham with some attacks. And we're actually seeing a little bit of split, actually. I'm expecting a full-on group sprint to the finish at some point, but earlier on in the race it looks like we are going to see a split, and there is the first split. I do see, I believe it was a flag coming out of Switzerland off the back there, and a Swedish flag as well. Moving our way back, who is it going to be? Hargreaves playing it smart, able to hang in and amongst the group there, not getting decorated or ruined just yet now, but from now, out of Sweden now trying to close it right on down. We do see Jacobsen right along with Pelosi. It looks like Rosenquist now out of Denmark able to close it down, but Groot is off the back out of Australia. And it looks like
Got another error.
Williams able to hang in there as well. Vegan is in there. It looks like.
I got nothing.
And then it will.
Honestly, God.
Toward the
I've got.
elevation still with Hinton.
I'm going to get dropped.
The question is, has Mr. Augustine been able to make this front group? Because
Where do you want me to use it?
but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We're all good.
Here. Augustine is in there. Actually.
My legs.
I've got to use it.
I do see him.
Tell me when.
This front group still.
Just stay in the pack as long as you can.
Make sure you set it. Just
I'll be gone at the end of the tunnel.
hanging in, keeping it steady. Don't
Okay.
go away from that steady effort. It's got to just maybe even put it in ERG mode.
Tim's going.
Along on this, and you'll make it to the end of the climb. Keep it in check, all right, Mr. Tom. All right, 182 beats per minute now, right along with Szymanski. You won't ruin yourself at that point, and enjoy.
Don't get dropped.
300 watts all day long here. So looking through here at the social media right now. Let's go Team Innovation. Raymond Malig is letting us know. Go Beavis, full gas. Sean Gross-Venner is saying. Gren just had one race earlier today, about 3 less than normal. Still will kick with 700 meters to the line. Tom O'Kalin, shots fired for sure. Over the broadcast over at Swift's Facebook. Love the banner, boys and girls. Keep it coming. And Innovation has some cheering them on as well. We'll see.
Fuck's sake, we need people in Discord.
A lot of Swedish flags in there. SCR showing up in force, it looks like, as well up at the front here. Perhaps, or is there no SCR? Excuse me. That's just SCR in the name, as it was not changed from yesterday. We did start covering the SCR races, so every Wednesday we will be here at noon CST. That is 6 p.m. BST, British Standard Time, if you would like to jump into the broadcast or those races. The SCR races put together by the SCR team. A solid series of races, a point series actually, every Wednesday. If you'd like to jump in that point series, still have a chance to do so actually, as I believe it will be the best of races. So a certain number of them. So go ahead and jump into there. And I
You want me to use it at the bottom of this slide?
shipping to Sweden only, actually, though, for some giveaways. So if you are in Sweden, you can jump into those races with a little more motivation to do them and grab some prizes, actually, perhaps, if you do get lucky enough to win. Johnny Rocket from the KRT team up toward the front here now. 2.2 watts per kilogram, 161 beats per minute. Not going much of anywhere just yet. Grupo Compacto here right along with Bringval. And this has definitely turned into a proper road race out here today with the current group dynamic.
Do you want me to launch it?
Really able to get away. We've seen a few off the front here. Some of the favorites have tried to make something happen.
Can't hear you, Brendan.
These D category riders, they may use some of the lap traffic to cause a little bit of mayhem at this point. We are seeing KP.
Can you hear me?
Race WBR up the front coming out of Belgium right now. Solid effort here, and it looks like not able to make anything happen as they make their way through these boys, or maybe not even looking to make anything happen. Melty Man 131, certainly Grupo Compacto at this point. So let's go ahead on over to the B category, see if anything's happening over there. We do see them heading on through the, it looks like sprint banner right now. Nothing.
I'm back. Sorry, something happened.
Well.
I'm going to launch you now. Bottom of this slope.
Barista here from Z-Sun. Looks like Thomas there as well.
Are you going to use it at the top of the hill?
Bottom.
Definitely some high heart rates, though. That's for sure. And
Get my wheel.
Of Zwift Racing. Zwift Racing always has that consistency of pedal stroke, consistency of pedal power all the way through, and you get some of the best workouts because of it. You're never letting off the pedals. You know, there is the road racing factor of the drafting and the sitting in, but even sitting in the draft, I almost liken it to being at the front end of a mountain bike race, because in mountain biking, it's always go, 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 go. There isn't usually any time where you're backing off too much. You do find yourself into a tempo pace at times, and then attacks, tempo pace, and then attacks at the front end of a race. If you do get dropped off from the
I'm gone.
race, it's nothing but just all outside, all the way to the finish line for a mountain bike race. So I do think it is a little bit more similar to that type of effort, but the tactics, though, definitely more like road racing. It's a definitely mix and a type of racing in and of itself, actually. Now, Cartwright Williams, and it looks like the Melty Man with a coordinated effort from KRT here, trying to heat things up at the front here. And these three get off the front. They were definitely communicating. We do see Williams down to 1.0 watts per kilogram. Not going to see the likes of them again, most likely. I think he's going with them and then trying to hold up the pack, perhaps, is what's going to happen. Down to 1.0 watts per kilogram. Full-on blow-up maybe from Williams, trying to go with these boys. Now, Cartwright, though, trying to hang on to the Melty Man. Melty Man is going to be pulled back in, and they're going to try and work together now. These guys go up the front together now, and this may be the attack that we're looking for out there today. Melty Man, 5.4 watts per kilogram. Cartwright resting it up now. 5 seconds now. 5 seconds is enough to work with here. Team AHDR with Hassan now. 4.3 at the front, though. But with, it looks like, enough breathing room to work with, we're going to have to see some boys at the front of this pack start to work together. Innovation make their way to the front. It looks like, as well as it is going to be one of the WBR boys. Now it is going to be Hargreaves making his way to the front as well from Zwift HQ. Then it is going to be Vegan Moberly. They're starting to think about it. Are we going to work together here and pull these boys back in? Who's going to make the effort? And it looks, did they actually pull them back in immediately? Okay, so right back into the group right now at this point, and out on this course, nobody. Being thrown down. If they're going to close it down, they have to do it right now. Adam Webb kicking it at 12 watts per kilogram, knowing that this is a moment of truth for them. Burton trying to go right along with them, but the Melty Man and Cartwright have some breathing room to work with. They're going to have to kick still 6+ watts per kilogram at this moment right now if they're going to hold on to this gap that they've got right now. We're seeing Cartwright kicking again, 5.5 watts per kilogram, encouraging on the likes of his teammate there, the Melty Man. Now we are seeing Bringval now at 4.6 watts per kilogram, 30 miles per hour. The speed is what we want to look at. It's not always the watts per kilogram because the groups travel faster out on course than the individuals. We're seeing 28 miles per hour coming here from Cartwright now, and Vic now 27 miles per hour, so not quite able to bring him back in now. But with those attacks, Max, were they able to break things up at all at the back of this group? Let's go ahead and look down from the helicopter view. That'll give us an idea if anybody's fallen off the back now. We are seeing Hargreaves actually for Zift HQ suffering at this point, getting absolutely ruined, we'll see, and decorated out there, out on course. 300 watts. Let's go Hargreaves all day long. Just keep it consistent and pull them in right now. Muller, and it looks like Gurney now as well. Not sure if they're going to be able to get back with these boys. If they're starting to walk away, these may be the next ones to bite the dust. Looks like Beavis here as well from the Rolling King off the back. 171. Then we've got Greg V. Bridge. Belty Man is saying at the front, I think that's what it looks like to type at 180 beats per minute. Asking for somebody to bridge up to them and work together with them at this point. They're looking for just a little bit more in this pack right now to try and make it happen. 5.8 watts per kilogram coming from Cartwright at the front, looking for somebody to bridge. Johan, maybe looking for Johan to bridge on up. 6.7 watts per kilogram, 8 watts per kilogram, trying to go right now. All the heart rates right on up into nothing. No heart rate coming from Grimshaw there, but 176 from Pelosi, right along with Vegan, 167. Jay Scott, 176. Hargreaves there right into 172. Keeping the consistency there right along with 151 from Augustine. And still, Grupo Compacto, Cartwright, and Melty Man tried to make something happen. Melty Man going again as they kick into the climb into the Essies. Maybe another chance at this point. As you know, a lot of the riders are going to be on the rivet right now, just trying to hang on. They may be able to at least whittle this down to a smaller group and work together for this last lap out on course today. One to go for the Bell Lap today, I believe it is. Let's just double check and make sure Nathan's got that right, as I don't seem to know how to count. And they are on, it looks like 31.3 in, 3 down, with 1 to go, I believe. It's going to be a total of 41K, I believe, out there today. 41K out there today. And with 3 down and 1 to go. 3 down and 1 to go out there today. Bell Lap today, boys and girls. Can they pull it back in or get away is the question. Out there, as we do see Szerzynski, 174 beats per minute. We do have a few falling off the back with Muller and Gurney. Not going to see the front end again, but that's not many to be dropping off with the amount of effort that they've had to put in at this point. And we see Cartwright right along with the Melty Man making their way to the back of this pack, looking for the drafts. Now, will we have any counters? Anvik now seeing that maybe after sitting in, there might be a little bit of a window to work with here, as a few maybe in some hurt right now, but nope, not going anywhere just yet. Rosenquist is there as well. It looks like Team HDR up toward the front, but the Essies are not being used for that advantage as they make their way through this section back into the sprint banner. Few may be looking for a few more of those power-ups to try and gain an advantage over the competition. So far throughout the day here, we've seen a solid, oh my goodness, Metcalf has put out 5.2 watts per kilogram for the duration of 20 minutes during this effort. Cartwright's put out 5.0 watts per kilogram for 20 minutes today. So there's definitely been some serious efforts out there, some killer power numbers put out on this flat course. It's not like they're just hanging out, but it's just so difficult to get away from a group out on a course like this today. We are seeing, for the past results, Jay Scott actually out there for PTZ, a recent PTZ member at, it looks like 56 races out on Zwift, and it does look like he was able to grab a W actually in the KISS Europe race. Was that, it looks like on the 12th actually. Was that just 2 days ago? Did he actually win the KISS Europe race? I thought that perhaps that was another rider, but it looks like it was Mr. Jed Scott, followed by Joe Gravidal, and then Brandon Meltentalo actually in that. Jed Scott solid ride for PTZ. Joe Gravidal also was able to grab it at 4.5 watts per kilogram or so for that race out on Box Hill for the London Loop actually. I believe there was maybe a couple of riders that did get a DQ or a relegation for over 5 watts per kilogram for 20 minutes. And ZwiftPower.com actually, because those are going into domestic to international pro type numbers, they just do a double check and they're like, okay, if you can produce 5 watts per kilogram or more, please go ahead for your functional threshold power. Please go ahead and send us a strain gauge power meter file from real life, from an outdoor ride is what they're looking for usually. And if you send that on over, then you get the clearance that, hey, okay.
Hey, Mike, are you here to offer some words of encouragement?
A lot of times, just like Zwift does as well, there'll be a flag over a name if you put out too much effort. Not if you put out too much effort, but if you put out too much power out on Zwift into numbers that look like maybe your trainer setup is a little bit off at this moment, or you should maybe look into getting an international pro contract. The numbers that Zwifto tag at are usually around a UCI elite world tour level of racing, or even above sometimes for getting those flags out on Zwifto. So that's perhaps why we're seeing that difference over at ZwiftPower.com with Jed Scott taking the win actually 2 days ago. But now we're waiting for the last half lap here. What's going to happen? Grimshaw is up at the front, but he cannot win the race today because it is compulsory in the A category to be wearing a heart rate monitor. So this is a great workout that he's getting, killing it right now, but without the heart rate monitor on, he will have to contact ZwiftPower.com and see if he can get his result reinstated. But you have to wear a heart rate monitor at the front end of the A races in order to just make sure that you're not just hanging out at 110 beats per minute with the setup. But we are seeing Cartwright trying to go again. Kicks off the front. He's got 2 seconds. He waits for a moment and looks to kick one more time. We are seeing 5.4 watts per kilogram coming from him. Pelosi is there around the corner on these races here. Can almost use it like a crit race. We use the corner to gain a little bit of advantage because it does actually treat those corners a little bit like a handling skill if you kick it into them. And as you did see, Cartwright did gain about 2 seconds, but it didn't go much of anywhere just yet. It's looking to come down to a sprint up and over the top, but the type of sprint that this is, it's going to happen up and over the top of the underground tunnel, actually. As soon as you hit that underground water tunnel and you hit that 3% gradient, from there to the finish line, essentially, it's an all-out effort trying to find a wheel and then one last kick when you're already up and over threshold. Actually, it's a wind-up type effort. This is actually one of the most dreaded sprints that I can be a part of, because you know that you are not going to have to just throw down that 200 meter or 500 meter effort or so. Sit in, BKG, look for that effort, give a little kicks to find that front wheel, and then give that last kick. Instead, it ends up being like the 1K. You end up like just going from 1K out essentially, or a little less than that, with a climb, full on 5, 6, 7, 1,000 watts, whatever you can to hang on at the front, and then you got to hang on to any kind of groups that are starting to form. Then you have these groups form in splits, and then you're either trying to chase or hold on to your split at that point because you don't want those people to come back. So it ends up being a drag race. It's a long, dragged out sprint, actually.
How you doing, Dave? Dave, are you still in it?
Very difficult sprint to
No.
So it always is
Gonna warm down.
at the end of this flat course, because it tends to come down
That's the rest of 40th.
that might have that kind of match to burn to go from way out. So it tends to favor a rider that can just...
Well, you did a monster climb last night, so yeah.
Tactical enough, though, to not waste too many matches and have 2 or 3 matches to burn. Not a single kick rider, but a rider that might have 2 to 3 kicks in succession of each other. We'll see who might have that. My guess is that Adam Webb, Gren, maybe as well, Cartwright might be able to pull this off as well. But Johnny Rocket here, maybe not wanting to be a sprint finish, using some of the lap traffic to find a little bit of breathing room. Johnny Rocket here, KRT team now, kicking out of the US of A. We are seeing Vegan here, Moberly now out of New Zealand going right along with them. Has a little breathing room. They let these boys go. At this point, the question is, do you chase it down or do you sit in? Because you know the sprint is coming at this point. So they might be using some of those mental tactics, some of those tactics, knowing that nobody's going to want to put out too much effort at this point. So if you just throw all your chips at the table, 6 watts per kilogram off the front all the way, you might not be chased down. But it looks like Pelosi, Johnny Rocket, and it looks like the rest of them are brought right back into the fold. We might see a couple more like that. Maybe on this downhill, we could see an arrow power-up being blown at this point and trying to get away if you do not want that sprint effort. If you know you do not have those kicks over and over again, maybe getting away at this point, but you've got to gain quite a bit of time if you're going to stay away from 10 watts per kilogram out of that 3% gradient. There are so many riders at this point. We're seeing in this front group at least 20 plus riders still in and amongst the mix right now. So who do you think it's going to be? You can head on over to ZwiftPower.com right now, see who's in the lead group right now. We got Johnny Roddick, Vegan, Hassan, Jacobson coming out of Sweden, KP from Race WBR coming out of Belgium, Super International Field, Barbosa's in there, Hinton from Innovation, Metcalf is in there from Ornelas, Augustine, Grimshaw, Adam Webb, right along with Wall. Rosenquist is in there. We're seeing Szerzynski, Pelosi, Johan Gren, as well as Anvik. It looks like Urs Geisen out of Netherlands, maybe going to be a wild card. We've not seen racing in quite a while as well. Bringval, Cartwright, Fleetwood is in there, I believe. So lots of riders. The Melting Man still, along with Gurney, I think has been dropped off 37 seconds last time. Jay Scott. Watch out for these riders. Burton from the TFC as well. So who do you think it's going to be? I'm assuming we're going to see a lot of cheering on for everybody's teams out on Zwift for this finish here today. Pelosi up the front out of Italy, right along with the BRT rider M. Wall, riding for the Bolt Racing team. We're seeing Raymond here saying, go vegan. Allenby is out there as well, cheering on. 5.5 watts per kilogram is what he's cheering on today. Man, that draft not changed since October. Allenby is coming with a little bit of feedback there. Team PTZ stronger than ever. Watch out. Gravdal hanging out in the broadcast. Took a podium actually back on Tuesday. He's rooting on his team. We are seeing Gren here going from way out, maybe not wanting it to be a sprint finish. And the Melting Man right along with Johnny Rocket now going to the front, but not getting anywhere just yet, but setting up maybe correctly for the right kind of sprint out of this 3% gradient out of the underwater tunnel at this point. The Melting Man, Gren, Johnny Rocket, Vegans there as well. Innovation all lined up at the front. Who's at the back here? Maybe out of position. Rosenquist, Pelosi, we are seeing, but they may get a huge amount of advantage being right around the middle of this pack. The main thing though is being toward the front when you hit the top of the climb. So timing it just right so that you get enough draft through this climb.
Go on, all the way to the top.
This is for the win here out here today. And Cartwright's the first to go, right along with Gren. 8.4 watts per kilogram, 164 beats per minute. He's got about 10 to 12 beats to work.
Hang on to them wheels.
Into 180s. We are seeing that feather power up being thrown down out on course right now, pushing him into 9 watts per kilogram. Going right along with it will be Jacobson, Jay Scott, Webb's there as well. The Melting Man chasing it down. We are seeing Johan Gren still able to make it, but now TNHDR falling off. We are seeing Hargreaves playing it smart.
Keep it going, keep it going.
Horston, and it looks like Augustine as well, but way up at the front we are seeing it is Cartwright still going 9 watts per kilogram. Brindleval is going with him as well. The Viking Man using that drafting power up. Maybe
Just sit on the wheels here now. Don't bridge the gap to Tim.
The strongest power ups
Follow people.
because usually it's not a huge
Up, up, up.
Webb goes right along with them. They've got a gap now, but can they hold on to it? Innovation now with the lead up man.
Time to go. If you've got an arrow, use it now.
But now Gren going to 10 watts per kilogram. Is it too little, too late? Because Webb, Brindleval, and Cartwright are off the front.
On, all in, all in.
We were talking about, are they going to rest? They've already thrown down a huge effort, and now Gren chasing them down. And
All the way. Come on, keep it going.
this last couple of meters, Scott now trying to chase it down as well. Curley is there as well in this group, but off the front still, it's going to be...
Keep it going. 5 more seconds.
Now here goes Gren with that arrow power up, but Innovation now out of nowhere with Hinton.
All the way to the line.
Still, the effort is gigantic. It's huge.
Good effort.
With Gren, 11 watts per kilogram, but Anvik
I know. Nothing.
Oh, he didn't have an arrow. No chance.
with the W, 190.
No arrow, no draft, no feather.
Perfectly timed power up with that effort. Anvik out of Norway.
Tactics are pointless now. We need everyone on Discord or just forget about it.
I think in quite a while takes the upset actually. Cartwright
Can't try and attack with 1 or 2 people.
Norway pulls it off.
Yeah.
with the upset.
I mean, Tim and I were putting out wattage. I look behind us, and they were like at 4. And
They're still going. Yeah, it's stupid.
Anvik with a great
You need a group of 4 or 5 or 6.
go ahead and head over to the B
You either need all of us to attack, or we need to split the field and bring people with us.
but we definitely want
Well,
to find out who these
I was trying to get Gren, but
results are.
I don't know what his deal is, man.
Norway there. What an effort there coming from him. Grabs a W today.
He won't do any work at all till the end. He knows he's got enough sprint to win it, so he's doing the right tactics for him.
took a third in the team Italy, Specialized Zima, won the WBR 4-lap, won the Kiss Americas, actually. It looks like 100
I think that was,
back on Sunday.
oh, that was probably the most successful flat, even though I did force
Simon Anvik. So is this
plays poorly. I hung in there.
Is this rider
Good effort.
Another question. I'm not
We needed Tim here. We've got to be able to talk to Tim.
as far as age goes or anything, need him to register over
When we caught him, he didn't latch on straight away, so we lost 5 seconds there straight away.
card shows up and just
Yeah, well, I think he tried to latch onto you. He was probably hurting a bit. And, yeah, he had no idea
But
you were
again,
letting up.
He's hurting because he's off doing his own thing.
definitely want to see
It's never going to work.
uh,
And he's just using it as training, so.
and definitely if he's a U23 rider, that's something that's definitely been super interesting with
Well, soon, I think starting next week, Matt Sinclair will be with us, so we'll have another TT guy.
Yeah.
Amongst the racers, and if they're U23, we can start getting an idea who these qualifiers might be. As
Yeah, my leg's just nothing there today. It's just,
the,
I know when they just go from full to empty in 10 seconds.
sign up as we wait for the B riders to make their way to the.
What was all that low cadence work you did yesterday?
No, this race
Yeah.
is a part of the Zwift Academy. 8 workouts, 5 group rides.
When I launched
I watched
it,
you there.
For the 2 races.
even I had aero, I couldn't even stay in front of you. And I was sprinting as hard as I could.
That as well.
And because I'm light as well, it's like my power's nothing.
120
I need to be attacking on uphills.
racers, show up today.
Yeah.
A lot of those did have that little ZA badge.
That's what I originally thought when I saw you ramping up. I'm like, okay, I heard him right the first time.
Like Rigval, right along.
Yeah, I was talking to you for about 2 minutes, but you must have had your headphones off.
Pfizer, Kier is
I was asking
No,
you.
I had disconnected somehow.
Oh, okay.
Looks like, I believe, coming out, making a guess here. I believe
Yeah, I had to do something then because I wasn't going to get out, climb out the tunnel. I would have been dropped anyway. I was just going backwards.
right now that are a part of the Zwift Academy, actually. Up to the front now, we are.
Well, you know,
White now.
we can always use. I just got to get him in the Discord. Jonathan Guerin.
Out on course in this B category, looking for
Yeah.
the W's. Large group though.
He doesn't have. I don't know how much he's got in the way of TT, but he could throw down a good 1 minute hard effort. So
Going out the front here,
Yeah, I mean, everyone's capable of a kick, and
table right now.
you've got aero power-ups to use as well. That's the difference on the KISS races.
Power up 6 watts per kilogram.
You have 3 people cycling aero power-ups. You know, that's worth an extra 2 watts per kilo.
That group by it looks like Peckover and Heimdall.
yeah, sure does.
It looks like quite a few though that are going to be able to keep him in the fold. I believe he would have to continue on at more than, I believe, 4.5 watts per kilogram to get away from the likes of this group. Only 2 seconds off the front at this point. The C category is also making their way to the line here. We will be able to catch.
I was actually really
that
hoping
race,
for
I
reverse
believe. I
heli.
believe we do have Harradine right along with Burgess at the front of that race right now.
I nearly stopped. I haven't even finished the race yet.
As soon as possible. There's so
Hedgehog nearly caught me.
today. It is going to be Harding as well as quite a few.
I think I just lost 3 places.
Starting to heat up at the front now. We do have Biger. This is the final K right here, and we're looking through. It is going to be a gap that's starting to form toward the front with Thomas. It looks like, as well as Innovation. Now all back together though. Nobody able to really get away. They're going to leave it to the last. It looks like few hundred meters right now. Dobbelstein out of Netherlands now leading it out. There's a little bit of lap traffic. It looks like they're getting in and amongst here. A few A racers that are being caught that are going to be a part of the sprint, but there's going to be Abelstein right along with Aristegui out of Spain. It looks like Rigval from, or I believe it's Rigval coming from Innovation. Race WBR up toward the front as well. Not sure which race WBR rider that is. We'll take a look as soon as they come around the corner here. And it looks like it is going to be Innovation with Payne, as well as the TKBE rider there with... Man, they're jumping around so much. There's so many riders in and amongst this group here right now, and I have no clue who's going to win this race right now. It looks like Giljam up to the front with Innovation. Race WBR, it looks like with Nathan. I know he's got a solid sprint, but it's going to be Biger now starting to open it up right along with Peckover. Peckover from the...
All right, well, I'm hopping off. I'll thanks for the ride in the shadow. It's painful.
Cheers, Brandon.
It's going to be a part of how it...
Nice to have someone to talk to. Wish we could get a few more on there.
Yeah, we'll get it going. I'll get Garen on here. He just had a crap yet.
Yeah, cool. All right, cheers, mate. See ya.
from the top view, it looks like it is going to just at the line. I'm not sure. I think Kelson held it off. Fouled by Hurt Locker.